Homish and Rashi, the Torah portion, Mikeitz, the sixth reading. We get right into the story that continues with Joseph, Yosef, the second in command in Egypt, and he tells his brothers, you got to bring down your brother. His brother, ultimately, his youngest, Binyamin, and the famine gets intensified, and Yaakov has no alternative but to send with Yehuda and the rest of the brothers back down to Egypt from Canaan to get more food, but they're going to get a lot more than food now, as well, the drama intensifies. We are in the book of Genesis, Bereshis, chapter 43, verse 16. Vayar Yosef, and Yosef saw, just realized. Okay, give me one brief moment, folks. Sorry. And what did Yosef see? Etam with them. So the brothers are now in front of Yosef, and together with Binyamin. So it says he sees Etam as Binyamin. With them is Benjamin, the Yomer, and he said, La Asher al Beisei, on that with the person overseeing his household. Have es anashim, bring in the men, habaisa, to the house, v'tvayav tevach, and slaughter an animal, v'hachein, and prepare, v'hachein, and prepare, ki iti yaichlu, because together with me they will eat anashim b'tzarayim, these men, for a daytime meal. Rashi, in verse number 16. Tavayach tavach v'hachin, have animals slaughtered and prepared. Kamay litvayach tevach. It means like saying have animals for slaughter. Ulahachin, and prepare them. Ve'ein tavayach lashin tzivui. And the word tavayach is not a command. Shahayel leimar utvach. Because then it would say, so it doesn't mean command, it means to slaughter. Okay. B'tzarayim. So Zetar Miturgam Mishirusa Shuloshin Suuda. So Onkelos translates the word as the first meal. In Aramaic term, he translates it as the first meal. Beloshin Dishner, Disner. So in Old French, it's Disner. What's Disner and what's Disner? It sounds like a real old French. Is it? But it's the first. It says it's the first meal.
Yeah. It is either déjeuner or petit déjeuner.
Yeah. Maybe that's old French, and déjeuner means that would be current French. There's much in the Talmud. Stay le kalba sherusa. Just showing that the word, right? However, Onkelos doesn't translate it as a midday meal. Usually tzarayim means midday, but he doesn't translate it as midday.
It comes from dine, and that is to break one fast. That's Old French, that's Gallo-Romänisch is France. It's
Oh, okay. So it does mean the evening meal, even though, okay, that's the way English translates it, even though usually that's not what the term would mean. Okay. All right. Verse number 17. V'yas ha'ish, and the man did, kasher amar Yosef, as Yosef had told him. V'yave, and he brought ha'ish, the man. Right? It doesn't say who. It's anashim by Beisa Yosef. He brought the men, meaning Yosef's brothers, to the house of Yosef. Yiru Hanashim. The Yiru means they were fearful. Hanashim, these men were fearful. In other words, the brothers, they were fearful. Ki Yehuva Beis Yosef, because they were brought into the house of Yosef. But Yemer, and they said, Al Dvara Kesef Oshe B'Mamtachasenu. So they said, like they said to each other, right? Alvar, on the account of the kesef, of the money. Remember that the money that they came down with and they bought provisions the first time was returned to their saddles. And so they're saying it's because of that, Hashev Amdachaseno, that it was returned to our packs, our saddles, Betchilin the first time, Anachnu Muvoyim, that's why we're brought into the house. Lizgelal because he's going to use that as a like a false pretext. Lisnapol aleinu, to fall upon us, to accuse us, in other words. But and to take us lavadim as slaves. Veschamarenu, and our donkeys, in other words, our belongings. Wow. The plot thickens. Rashi in 18. V'yira anashim kosev b'shnei yudim, argument dechilu. Written with two yuds, and therefore means they became afraid. Because it could also mean they saw the yiru,
Yeah.
right? But it
Is that
doesn't.
normal to usage of the youth?
Huh?
This is normal to have to use as well, like this. Is it common? Does it exist elsewhere in the?
I think just for this term, because otherwise it could be from the word re'eh, to see, right? So the yud is the extra yud makes it part of the first the second yud is part of the root.
Or the shoresh.
Right, it's part of the shorish, exactly. Okay, Kihuva Beis Para, because they were brought to the house of Yosef, Beis Yosef, right? Ein derech shar haboim lishbora bar lalim Beis. It's not the way, not the usual way of people who are coming to buy food, right? Because that's what they came for, to be brought into the house, right? It's not the regular way. The people would stay in the inns that would be in the city. So the Yiru she'ein ze ella las v'mal mishpar. So therefore they were afraid because they felt that this was only a pretext in order to put them into prison. So they were brought into this house. Lizgelo. What does it mean to lizgelo? Rashi says, Liyas misgalgeles aleinu alilas hakeseh. So the word galgal means to roll, like, you have on your, like wheels are called galgalim. So what does it mean over here to roll? It means to roll upon them the accusation, aleno alila sekesev, or concerning the money that was put into their backpacks. And therefore they would bear down upon us and and put us into prison as a result. Uncle is translates the meaning of this to make an accusation. These elo alenu dvarim. Okay, just brings on in different instances. So Rashi says it means to roll upon us, sort of, to the accusation. My uncle says literal meaning means to. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Verse number. Roll upon us the accusation. So does it mean the actual rolling upon, or does it mean the actual accusation? That's the difference.
They have a fear they're going to be accused of stealing the money.
Yeah,
As well as
that's what we did. That's exactly what the verse, exactly what we're saying. Exactly. Yeah. Verse number 19. V'yikshu elaish, and they approached the man. Who's the man? Meaning the overseer. Ashel al beis par Yosef, who is over the overseer of the house of Yosef. V'dabru elav, and they spoke to him. Pesach habayis, by the entrance of the house. V'yemer, and they said, Bi adoni, please, my sir, my master. Yared yaradnu, down we have gone down. Betchila, originally, lishbar eichel, to buy food. That's what we came for. We only came here to buy food. We're not coming to be good besties, right? Verse number 20 in Rashi, Bi'adeni Loshin Baya Betanchum. The word over here means to implore, right? To implore Vahu. Okay, woe is me, to implore. This is a degradation for us. We usually provide provisions for others. Achshav anu tzrichim loch. But now we became dependent on you, right? In other words, they're used to helping others, and now because of the famine, they have to reach out and have to be dependent on you. Verse number 21. Vayiki banu elam alain, and behold, and it was and it was when we came to the inn, the niftacha es amtechesenu, and we opened up our backpack, our saddle pack, our pack, whatever it is. It's a pack, right? The kiss of ish, and behold, there was money. Each man b'fiyam tachosei, each one of the brothers had money in their saddle. Kaspenu. Kaspena b'mishkalei, each person the exact weight, in other words, the exact weight and the amount of what they spent on buying provisions. All of a sudden, they paid for it and they're back in their saddle. But and we brought it back with us. Right, so they're preempting that there shouldn't be any kind of accusation made, saying, "Look, you brought back the money." We brought other monies in our hands. We brought down in order to purchase provisions. And we don't know who placed kaspeno, our money, in our packs. Verse 23. And he replied, he said to them, Shalom lachem, peace be to you. Al tiru, don't be afraid. Elekechem, your God, ve'elekei avichem, and the God of your fathers, nasan lachem, gave to you. Gave you what? Matmain ba'amachosenu, the hidden treasure in your pack. Kaspechem ba'elai, your money reached me. V'yetzi aleihem is Shimon. And took out Shimon. Remember, Shimon was left over and put in prison while when they first left, and now they took out Shimon. Elekechem, your God, B'schuschem, meaning in your own merits. Ve'im ein schuschem kedai, and if your own merit isn't sufficient, Elokei avichem, the God of your fathers, b'schus avichem, nasan lachem matmai. All right, in the merit of your forefathers, you have been given this hidden treasure, right? We're getting very spiritual, huh? Okay, verse 24. Yahweh ha'ish esan nashim beisapara, and this man brought the men, the brothers, to the house of Yosef, eat and mayim, and he gave them water, v'yichotzu ragleihem, and they washed their feet, and they gave fodder to the donkeys. Rather, he gave fodder to the donkeys. Rashi, in verse 24, Yahweh ha'ish, have acher have. So, because it says he brought, but it already said before that he brought, right? Brought them. So it's a second time he brought them. Rashi says, have acher have. It's a further act of bringing them into the house of Yosef. Because the brothers, they were pushing the man towards the outside. Ad shedibro elav, until they spoke to him. Dibra Ela Pesach Habayis, by the entrance of the house. And when he said, the overseer of the house, when he said to them, "Peace be to you," so they allowed themselves to enter after him. And he readied the gift Ad Yosef, until Yosef came. For the first meal of the day. Here it's first meal. Kishamu yechlu lechem. For they had heard that they would be dining, they would break bread there and eat. Yachinu hizminu itruha bekelim noim. Prepared means they laid out ornaments of fine vessels on the table. V'yava Yosef habayisa, and Yosef came to the house, to his house. Raviu aloi, it's a mincha, and they presented him with a gift. The brothers, right, presented him with a gift to mincha b'yadam that was in their hands, baisa, in the house. And they prostrated themselves to the ground. Habaisa, from the hallway into the main chamber. Okay, I don't know what Rashi has to say that, but verse 27. Yishal lahem l'shalom, and you inquired to their peace, meaning their welfare, v'yomer shalom. And he said, peace. How's the welfare? How's the peace of your avichem, your father, Azakin, the elderly, asher amartim, that you spoke about, ba'idena. Is he still alive? Ha'idena, is he still alive? Who's he speaking to? About his father, right? They don't know this. Speaking about his father, is he still alive? Yomer shalom lavdacha, and they responded, lavdacha, to your servant Avino, our father, Aidena Chai, he is still alive. Vikadu, and they bowed, Vishtachavu, and they prostrated themselves. Rashi, Vikadu Vishtachavu, they bowed their heads and prostrated themselves. Al She'el Shalom Keta, when they inquired about their welfare, they bowed their head. Yes, right. When they asked in response about how their father is doing, so they bowed their head in response, right? And then they prostrated themselves on the ground. Final verse for today. The Isa Einav. He raised his eyes. V'yarz Binyamin, he saw Binyamin, Achi, his brother, Ben Imai, the brother of his mother. Right? All the brothers had the same father, but not the same mother. Mother Rachel. And he said, is this your brother Hakatoin, the small one, the young one? Asher amartem elai, that you spoke to me about? And so he continued, Yosef, and he said to addressing Binyamin, may God be kind to you, my son, Bini. Rashi 29, Elokim Yancha Bini, Shvar Shvatim Shamanu, Hanina Asher Chanan Elokim Es Abdecha. Binyamin Adayin Loin, Eila Lekach, Yosef, Hanina. So, God, may God be kind to you, my son. So he used the word here, which is regarding the other tribes. We've heard that expression of God that he should bestow kindness upon you, right? But by Binyamin, it hasn't been said. Why? Because when it was bestowed upon them, Binyamin wasn't yet born. And for Yosef, blessed him with this special kind of endearment of kindness. So that is today's portion. Let's take a brief moment to see the thought of the Rebbe here. Don't see anything here. All right. Let's see. All right, folks. Thank you. See you shortly
Thank you, Rabbi.
with God's help.